Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode number 18. On tonight's episode, we discuss Mario Day yesterday. Splatoon gets amiibo support, a little code named Steam, plus we have Dave and Steve from the Character Crunch podcast to discuss our favorite Nintendo characters. Zachary, as always, every Wednesday, could you, sir, cue the music?
Whoa, dang it. Okay, let's just go. No stopping this train.
You are the worst.
Live shows are fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nintendo Dads podcast, episode number 18 for March 11th, 2015. My name is Zach Erickson, and joining me for Nintendo fun-loving discussion goodness is Justin Masson. What's going on, Justin?
Not too bad. I really concentrated on my Mario versus Mario. I'm working on it, guys.
Yeah, hey, you know what? You're recovering. You are making progress.
My life has been changed.
I expect you to backslide, and we will point it out, and so people on Twitter and Facebook.
As they have.
Joining us as well is Jesse Waldeck. What's going on, Jesse?
The last thing you want to do in the soundtrack of life is to play the wrong track.
It's
Wow.
Yes.
That was okay.
I am extremely impressed with how deep that is. Very nice. Joining us as well tonight, we've got two very special guests from the Character Crunch podcast, Dave and Steve. What's going on, fellas? Why don't you guys each kind of introduce yourselves so we can recognize your sultry tones?
I'm Dave.
Dave, why don't you start off? How's it going?
What's going on? Can you guys hear me still?
We sure can, but perhaps not over the music.
Yeah, you're kind of... No, maybe I should turn this crap down. Jeez. Turn that jam
maybe,
off. I didn't even bother
maybe the music doesn't want me on the show, apparently.
How's it going, guys?
You guys still there?
I'm still here.
All right.
It's hard to tell without the music, I guess.
Right. Just a little bit. Now that the music's gone, now we don't know who's here and who's not.
So abruptly. Cool. So tell the audience, guys, what is the Character Crunch podcast, and what do you enjoy? Just before we get started here, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Steve, and Character Crunch is a show where me and Dave talk about characters and basically anything we feel like in regards to video games and the media.
So TV shows, video games, everything that has characters is open for discussion. And I mean, honestly, as the show's progressed, we've gotten looser and looser with how structured the show is. But I mean, usually we just talk about what's current lately. Like the last episode, which is not up yet, is 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, wow. That's
Super.
Which is
yeah.
probably the
Zach
only
is
time that
incredibly
movie
upset
and book will be mentioned on this show.
Right.
I really just want to ask, did the both of you go to 50 Shades of Grey together and watch it?
No, neither one of us has seen it. We are discussing, based on not seeing it, why we're not going to see it.
Nice.
And
By the way,
Would be an interesting debate.
If you want to see something amazing online, look up, and this is should be obvious, not safe for work, folks, not for the kids. But look up Gilbert Gottfried reads 50 Shades of Grey.
I've heard that. It is disturbing.
Yeah.
I think it's, anyways, yeah.
I still think
But
of
I
Iago
would-
when I hear his voice.
I would say about the Character Crunch podcast, one of my favorite episodes that you guys did is actually episode 40, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy episode. I am a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan ever since watching the episode, or actually, sorry, seeing the movie, and I thought it was a great episode. So episode 40 is a must for, if you're new, this is a good one to watch.
Guardians is still my favorite of the Marvel Cinematic movies.
Oh, mine too.
It passes everything, even Avengers, even the first Avengers.
I don't know what it is, and don't worry, folks. We'll talk about Nintendo eventually. I honestly feel like the combination, like the combo of Rocket Raccoon and Groot, is probably like one of the best duos in pop culture since like Han Solo and Chewbacca. Like, it's just so incredible and endearing at the same time. Like, there's such heart there. It's just so good. I love it. Right on. Well, let's check this out, guys. Go and check those guys out. They're going to be here for the show, and let's get straight into what we've been playing. All right, so Justin, why don't you start us off with what you've been playing this week?
Yeah, so the biggest game that I have been playing over last week has been Mario versus Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. And might I add, got that one right. You're welcome, Internet.
Mario.
Yeah.
In the column, Justin.
So I know win column. Right.
The scales very slowly will be tipping.
Do we just start keeping score? See if
We should. I think if I have like 18 episodes in a row or something, then I think it's equal. Yeah. So I picked this up on my 3DS, and I had mentioned earlier a couple months ago that I found the series, but I rediscovered it with my old DS. Started playing, I think, the very first game, and I really like it because they're short little games, they're short little puzzles. You know, the objective is to get your little Mario wind-up machine guy, minion, I guess is the best way I would use it, to successfully collect the stars in the level, the coins in the level, and get to this door, while moving your stylus to create pillars or bridges for him to pass over. It's a very cool concept, very simple. It's a nice little, I use the term toilet game, right? Kind of like Angry Birds. I can finish 3 or 4 missions while I'm finishing my business,
Stages.
so to say, right?
With minimal leg numbness.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Exactly. But the thing that I would say that this did really well, I mean, conceptually, there's nothing different here than any of the other Mario versus Donkey Kong game series. The thing that it does really well, though, is the ability. There's a couple things. First, it's cross-buy, which means that if you purchase it on one of the platforms, now this is available in both eShops, so that's 3DS and for the Wii U, you are provided a code for the other system. So that's kind of a nice feature. We talked about a lot lately, cross-buy. And I'll actually kind of maybe dive into that a little bit. The game's $20. A little bit high probably for what it is.
Yeah, like we were saying last week, that's not a cross-buy price. That's a bundle price.
Yeah.
Right. Like that. Now that I've kind of seen it too, and full disclosure, and just so everybody knows, you can actually just use it on a different account. They're not tied to an account. That code. Because Justin, you bought the game, and then you gave me the code for the Wii U version, and worked perfectly fine. So, by the way, I still owe you $10, but
You sure do.
but
you owe him an amiibo.
yeah, there you go. So, it's definitely possible, which I think there was some question on that. So
Yeah. So, the price is a little bit high, but, I mean, and that's the thing. I knew I wasn't going to really want it on my Wii U. It's kind of you want it on one system or the other. I don't really know if I don't know. When you buy a cross-buy game or get a game on both systems, you usually have an idea for where you want that system to be, like where you want that game to live in your system library. So for me, I wasn't interested in the Wii U. So I mean, if you find someone who says, "Hey, I want it for the Wii U, I want it for 3DS," someone just split the $10 and you're fine, right? I mean, it's $10 purchase in the end. The thing that I thought was really great about it was actually the stage creator, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. Obviously we have Mario Maker coming out sometime this year, potentially, if Nintendo stays on track on that. And we thought that Mario Maker may have got bumped because of this, because of the functionality of this. I believe probably it did. But the great part is you have the ability to. They give you templates. They give you a kind of a builder kit, and you can build a level. You test the level, and then once the level is done, you hit publish, and you publish it up to the community, and the community can play it, select it. It come up in the new section, and if you like it, you can add comments right there from the Miiverse. You can put stamps on it. You can give it you can give them stars. And stars are very much like the Facebook analogy of likes. So you actually see people who are creating very specific levels, very challenging levels, who have 99 to 100 stars or Yaz that they have been provided to boost them up. So when you actually go into the online section, there's a couple columns or a couple sections. There is a popular, which is obviously the most Yaz and the most stars.
and pretty predictably, there is at least 2 stages that are free coins or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Which is kind of weird that they're not curating that and kind of filtering those out.
Yeah, they're not. But the nice part is like I built my own. I built a level and put it up there to see how hard it is. Like you can't just I will say this: every level is completable. Like you can't just like be a jerk.
Yeah,
build
you
a
can't
level.
publish
You can't
publish a level until you've beat it yourself.
Yeah,
right?
so I thought that was a really nice feature because I think you'd very quickly go like, yeah, this is like someone's going to make a jerk level, and I've looked at a couple. I'm like, there's no way you can beat this. So there's that really nice feature of, staying fresh that way. But when you go in there, they've kind of got a section that is popular. They've got a section that is curated and created by Nintendo themselves. Then you have a new section, as I recall, or like recently added, and then a friends section, as I recall. And you can kind of choose which of these sections you want to go into. So I thought they did a really great job on that. And I think really when you, with that community, with that online functionality, this is the same case as what Mario Maker is going to be. Is you've got an endless amount of possibilities. I can finish the game, which again, I mean, I had it for less than a week, and I'm on level like 3-6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting my way through, but they also have other mini games associated with it. There's a lot to it, but again, you can either sit there for 3 or 4 hours and play this thing straight, or 5-minute little intervals. So it's a great game. The only challenge I have with it really is that price point. And if you brought that down to something like 10 or 15, I think it's a lot more reasonable for people to get into. So
Do the levels share between the versions? Like if you make a Wii U level, does it go to the 3DS, or do we just
Yes,
are they
the levels will show up on both. It's essentially the
Okay.
same game. It's just scaled down assets for the 3DS.
I think
Right.
as well, it may. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played the 3DS version, obviously, but I think it may display less of the level on the 3DS version. Like as far as like on the Wii U, you'll get the entire level on the top screen, or like on your actual TV, and then on the gamepad, it will show like a cropped window of it.
Exactly
Yeah.
the same on the 3DS.
yeah,
Is that-
except on the 3DS, the top window or the top screen is you can kind of see the map, and the bottom touch screen is where the actual action is occurring.
Zoomed in view.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same then.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
It's exactly the same. The
That's nice that
TV
they
is the
pulled
same
it
as the top screen on the 3DS, and the gamepad is the same as your bottom screen on the 3DS.
The only thing I would also say, and actually, while I'm thinking of that before I jump too far, and I know that Zach, this would probably be a bit of a bone of contention for you, sir. The 3D version or 3DS version is not 3D
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
I know that you have a bone of
kind of what I
contention about that,
suspected.
but
That's the thing, is that for some of these games I expect it, and some of them I don't. I don't know why. I feel like it's a little bit. I give more of a pass if it's like an eShop game, depending on what's going on. It really bugs me when it's like a full retail release and it's and no 3D. Like Ultimate NES Remix, for example, that was ridiculous. Like that was a $40 game or a $35 game or whatever it was, and not having 3D is pretty sad. But I don't know. I think part of it as well. We may, as we see now, Jesse. This was developed on their web platform. What is that called? The
web framework.
the web framework. I'm suspecting that any game on there, it's probably going to be harder to implement 3D because it's got to work cross compatibility wise or whatever, right? So
I would expect it. Yeah, I wouldn't expect 3D with this.
Yeah, they'd have to do double the amount of work to make any game that's made on the web platform into a 3D game. At least that's my suspicion. But no, again, it's kind of annoying still that at least make the menu 3D or something cool. I don't know. But I just like 3D, okay? Like,
I paid for the feature. Use it.
yeah.
I turn it off every single time.
So are you using the old? Are you on one of the new 3DSs or the older 3DS, Steve? Or Dave, sorry.
Steve's- I've got a Pikachu regular 3DS XL,
Okay.
and Steve has you can tell.
I ended up buying. I saved up so I could buy the red new 3DS XL.
Nice call. Nice call.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sporting, is the red one. I love that thing, man.
Do you like the 3D on it? The new one?
The face tracking thing is fantastic to me. Like, I know for some people who can't see 3D very well, I mean, like, that's not a selling point for them. But for me, like, it really did it. Like, I felt proud that I could have this thing actually be a usable feature for me. I mean, it worked before, but now it's like,
It
I
was
can
nice
slide
for
around on the bus.
Majora's Mask when
Yep.
you're actually using the gyro controls to aim, that the 3D didn't break completely horribly. It still sometimes it lagged depending on how bad my lighting was in the room, but it
Yeah.
for the most part it kept up.
The thing is, when it does break on the new 3DS, I feel like I'm going to have a seizure every time it does it because it flickers now, right? Whereas before, it's trying to find me again and it starts flickering.
Right, especially when you look away and then
oh,
you look
that's-
back and then it says, "Oh, I see two eyes now. Now I can focus."
Yeah, yeah, for
and
sure.
And at night, sometimes it really has a problem. So when I played it at night, I usually shut the 3D off.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong as well on the Wii U. I think I'm in the second world now. I haven't played it a ton. My son, like, it's hilarious. My 4-year-old son is like, he loves making the levels, but I think he's kind of like it's hilarious. Like he's like, Dad, I made this really hard level for you today. You have to try it. And I'll like go into the level creator, and it's like a blank area, and it's got like 3 Goombas, and there's literally no possible way to win this level. Or it's just like, this is really hard. You got to figure it out, Dad. And I'm like, okay, here's how I figured. Let's add to it. This is a great level. Let's add more stuff to it. This is so cool. He's like, yeah, awesome. So it's funny. I'll like come in and like, there's like 10 stages and all of them are impossible. And so we'll go in there and add it, and it's really fun. He really likes that kind of stuff. I feel like in a few years he's going to be like right into the Minecraft scene and stuff like that. He's just really creative like that. So anybody else have anything to add about Tipping Stars before we move on?
I kind of had an issue with it. I didn't get very far in the game. I finished World 1 on both the Wii U and the 3DS just so I can get a feel of the differences between the two. And my biggest issue is they don't really use the real estate of the top screen very well. Mm-hmm. Your screen is this big and it only uses this much. It's wasting an inch around around the whole thing. I don't know if
is that like that on the 3DS version too? I figured it was.
No, it's the exact same ratio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super weird. I figured, like, I looked at the TV on the Wii U. I was like, oh, that must mean that on the 3DS it's a smaller screen, obviously, and so they're doing it.
No, it's the exact same ratio of bad.
That's super weird.
So I don't know if it improves on the larger levels near the end of the game, but early on, that was my biggest complaint.
That's craziness, man.
That and after playing Majora's Mask, I needed to find a game to kind of relax my brain, and that puzzle game or that style of puzzle game isn't it. I found another puzzle. I'll talk about more later, but what I have been playing to
right on,
kind of be relaxing.
Thanks.
Awesome.
So
right on, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Justin, you got anything else you've been playing, or are we gonna?
I want to toss it over to the Character Crunch crew and see what Dave and Steve have been playing.
Right on.
Steve, tell him.
You dropping this one on me already?
Yes.
Man, okay.
Under the bus. There you go.
For the last probably a couple weeks so far, I've been binge playing Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Yes.
I've been waiting for this game for like 2 years, I think. Just not. I bought my 3DS, like my original 3DS, just so I could play Monster Hunter 4, hoping it would come out like not confirmed. And then it finally confirmed it. So now I've been ready. I've been waiting. Like I've been sweating just watching GameStop shelves for
you
months.
Still
at
bought
a end.
new hardware to play it.
Did you did you play a lot of Monster
I
Hunter
bought
3?
the XL. I bought.
So did you play a lot of Monster Hunter 3 then, or Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate? Steve,
Oh, I think they had a bit of a mic issue.
what's going on?
I don't know.
Hang on, I'm going to pause.
Now the
Okay.
camera is frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're back.
we're green.
There you go.
You guys there still?
Do you hear us loud and clear?
Yeah,
There we are. There we go.
Kind of crunchy, character crunchy, even.
Character Crunchy, are we back now?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right, we're back. So you were saying, Steve, had you played Monster Hunter 3 before? Like, did you play a lot of that game?
Yeah. See, what had happened was the same deal kind of happened with that because when I
Uh-oh. Wow.
Like
Hello?
the call dropped entirely
Yep.
that time.
Yeah, that wasn't Skype.
That was you.
That was me.
I'm sick of this nonsense.
I hit the wrong button. Okay. We gotta get them back to the call.
Come on,
Add people.
he's losing this. He's
Dave
still
Moore.
to captivate.
Add. Where are you guys? Wait, Dave, what?
Don't-
Dave, are you there?
No, they're not on the call. Well, they're like.
Their avatar swooshed.
How do we get him back?
I don't know.
Chat. Wait, guys, what? Hold on. We lost you.
This is the Skype theme song right now. Our
Eh?
hold music.
And we're still streaming on live on Twitch.
I am the worst. Sorry, guys.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
What the hell? How do we get him back? Should I hang up on you guys and call them?
Yeah, why don't you do that, and then you can add us.
This time This time he didn't end the call. Or did you start it this time?
Oh, weird. Hang on.
Welcome to live shows, everybody. This will make fun YouTube fodder. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
I actually hit the wrong button.
Oh, I'm like,
I legitimately I hit the actual hang up button. I moved my mouse.
okay, okay, because we're sitting here freaking out.
No, apparently red and the hang up button is actually hanging up. Yeah, I thought Skype might have changed that, but I was a dirty liar. Where's Zach? Come on, Zachary. Jesse, you're there?
I think so.
Okay, sweet.
Zach isn't.
I know. He's having some difficulty, apparently.
Well, I reset my router in a panic, so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
What is going on? Add people.
I'm like, if I have to hit it, like I gotta reset it in case this is the problem. I'm like,
And this is still live streaming on Twitch, so this is fun. What if anyone's watching? Which I don't think anyone is.
Nobody ever watches us.
Nope. I'm the only
listen
one.
the day after, I have to be honest here. Not watching live at midnight.
This is everybody will do Skype, huh? Mine worked.
We're on.
Okay.
Maybe he's saying he's going to that's a hard one.
Can you guys see us?
No, I
No.
just see your static avatar.
Zach might be yeah, you guys are all back on. Zach might be rebooting Skype. I don't know.
Well, this is a good place because he was just talking about Monster Hunter, and then we can just go back.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Like, this is probably the perfect break, if any. For
If
chat.
there- If there has to be a break.
Yep. I'm really glad you guys don't have class tomorrow.
It's funny actually. I had to work at school during spring break all this week until today. Today was my last day of work this week, so now I'm done for the rest of the week.
Nice.
This is very convenient because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get in here.
Yeah, that's what Dave said.
And we're at a Mario count of 5, by the way.
Thank you. I did catch some of that as well, actually.
I don't know if you saw me, but I gave some golf claps or thumbs down or whatever I noticed them.
I was.
Oh, I'm back. Oh, hell.
I was counting them on my fingers. At 2, I went like this. Steve did 3. I did that at 1.
Nice.
We're about new hardware to play it.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so Zach, what you did miss out on was that there's apparently a Mario count, and we are at 5 for this episode.
Oh, hey, that's awesome.
I do hope that before you leave at the very end, that one of you should definitely reveal that tally to our fans, or to everyone.
I expect actually that like we need to have like a percentage of like good to bad. That's the only fair way to do it for you, Justin.
It's a win ratio, I think.
And
for sure.
every episode, like I'm expecting like a line graph of progress of.
We could actually even start betting, like over-unders.
Yeah, there you go.
The Nintendo Dad illegal betting.
Thanks.
This is a family show.
How many
Character
stars
Crunch does not endorse betting.
Nice.
Cool. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we are back, everybody. Thank Justin for literally just hanging up on everyone.
Sorry, folks.
That's okay. So, we were talking about Monster Hunter 4. Now, Steve, have you played Monster Hunter? You said have you played Monster Hunter 3? I think I asked you, but then it all got so.
Yeah, then we all
Yeah.
fell apart.
The dealie is this: when 3 was announced, I basically spent a whole lot of time saving up money for 4, and I spent all the 4 money on 3, and then I played that for like a good 600 hours. Like,
Holy crap!
Wow.
yeah, because when you're a high college student with no job or anything at that point, it's very easy to just get into a game like that.
No, well, that's the great thing about Monster Hunter is that, like, it definitely is the game that keeps on giving. Like, you can just keep playing that game, and that is one thing that is continually surprising to me. Like last Friday, the DLC dropped, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so excited to get my Zelda costume, and I'm just like, oh, I was been playing the story missions. I'm literally still Hunter rank 1, and that's like rank 7 something, and apparently. Looking on Reddit, apparently it's a fairly difficult one.
Oh gosh, yes, man.
So I'm like, oh, I guess I won't be getting that anytime soon for a very long time. But yeah. So how have you been liking it so far? Like compared to 3, what?
I like literally everything about it. Like, there's no point in this game in which I've been like, I like the old one better. Like, everything has been greater to me, and it's just like, I'm impressed. Like, there are things that people have always complained about, like, there's no lock-on in this game. Why can't I find the monster's health bar? And it's like, those things aren't necessarily important for everybody. But then, like, they added, like, air combat stuff and this whole, like, Shadow of the Colossus wall climbing stuff. And it's just, it feels so smooth. Like, everything. Like, they added so much, but nothing feels like it's not belonging there. And so everything just works, and I'm like so glad that the one game I play consistently, like a lot, they actually put so much work into.
Yeah, it's like I keep looking at it. I'm like, I just continually will go back to it every few days and play a few more missions and stuff like that. And it's just, I definitely am feeling like, it almost reminds me of the feeling that I had when I was getting into like MMOs back in the day, where it's just like, wow. There are so many people who are so much more like dedicated to being awesome at this game than I am. But and there's so much there that it's almost daunting how much there is. And compared to Monster Hunter 3, it's way better at kind of leading you into it and helping you kind of get your footing, for new audiences and stuff like that. But it's good to hear as well that it's really serving the core audience as well. So right on. So what rank are you then? Like, if we're gonna compare numbers here, like, have you done all the new stuff? What's your impression of the new stuff?
A lot of the new stuff, I think everything is great so far. I've gotten up to the end of the village storyline for the caravan quests. So basically up to caravan star 10, which is like the highest I see in the offline story mode type deal.
Okay, cool.
And then for the online, I've gotten hunter rank 6, which is mainly because all the people I know in person who want to play with me, they keep ranking up faster than me. You know, like they keep like getting their levels farmed up playing with random people online, and it's like, great, have fun, guys. Don't play with me. I'll just slowly do this thing by myself. I can handle it. I'm a grown up, right?
So on the online, I haven't tried a ton online, like with random people. Will it pair you with people who are similar rank or doing similar quests?
Compared to 3 Ultimate, they have a much more sophisticated matchmaking thing, so you can like search people who are noobs or low rank or high rank or whatever rank you are, and whatever monster you're trying to fight or whatever rank quests you want to do. So it's very easy to find people doing the same thing as you just by looking up the things that you have to do yourself.
Oh, that's awesome. I definitely need to look more into that kind of stuff, because that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I finally hit rank 2 and I'm like, awesome, and I like run and do this. I can't remember what it was. It was like some green dragon looking thing, and I was like, whoa, this is way harder than that stupid spider I just killed. I just am getting my butt kicked again, which is fun. And I mean, even the armor, I'm really impressed by the armor design in these. I recently got this. I was actually really surprised. Like the weapons look really awesome, and then I got this new. I was like, oh, I can craft this new hammer. I kind of like the great sword, but I've also tried the hammer, and it's pretty fun too, and sort of similar. And I crafted it, and suddenly it's this ridiculous green flower, and I was like, "What is it? What?"
Oh.
Like, it was so ridiculous, but it.
Hummingbird, I know that.
Yeah, I was like, that's so ridiculous, but it's also, it's so much fun. It's such a fun game. So we'll definitely need to get together, and you can carry me along or something.
I like how honest Zach is, at least about his skills, right? He's like, you just carry me along.
Yeah, no, like I was saying last week, I was playing with somebody who was like, just stand over in the corner, don't actually fight him because you will make us lose, and I inevitably did. So,
we're all gonna have to exchange friend codes.
oh yeah, totally, man. Absolutely. Right on. What about you, Dave? What have you been playing this week?
Well, I'm a trader, and yesterday I bought a PS4.
Oh, nice.
But
Wow.
seriously,
I don't consider myself a trader. I consider myself a multi-console household.
Okay, on a Nintendo show, I feel like a trader. But right before I bought that, I was playing a Wii U launch title, it wasn't launch. It was closer to launch. Was Lego City Undercover. Anybody played that when it came out?
I played maybe 6 to 8 hours of it, then got stuck.
Then got stuck.
It was just a rental, so I really wasn't too
Okay.
dedicated into the game. I wasn't committed because I knew I would just return it when I'm done. Versus if I bought it, then I might have been a little more interested in figuring out where I was stuck.
I think that game deserves every look you can give to it, because it's basically Lego Grand Theft Auto, which is a fantastic idea, because Grand Theft Auto is a bad game. It's not for kids. It's not fun. It's just violent and horrible. And
I feel like Grand Theft Auto initially was I played it a lot at Vice City, but it seems like after Vice City, where it lost a lot of its kind of sense of humor and kind of fun attitude. I mean, it still had kind of that craziness, but the most recent ones, man, terrible, right?
right, exactly. So, but in a Lego Grand Theft Auto,
oh yeah, totally.
all you're doing is smashing Lego stuff that just gets rebuilt or built into cooler things.
Yeah.
And the humor in that game is fantastic, especially for kids, but I found myself laughing as an adult laughing at that game for everything that it is. And I love that game.
Mhm.
So
Is it still very open sandbox though?
yeah, well, it's more
Ish.
like a puzzle-ish. It's like a Lego game, but there's an open city that you can explore and break stuff and build stuff, but it's really like a big collectible game.
If I remember right, it does kind of barricade you into an area, albeit it's still a large area. And as you learn new abilities, then you can get into the bigger area. Much like Pokemon. You see, there's a rock here, there's something over here, but you can't cross it. When you learn Smash, you can cross it.
Right. When you get the hammer guy, when you get the construction worker Lego guy, you can now smash the rocks and go past these rocks that go to a whole nother area.
I never got that far.
Which will lead you to a small contained area where you'll get another thing that unlocks another place in this big open city that you can explore and smash stuff. And just collect unbelievable amounts of Lego studs to buy cooler and better things.
And if it's similar to the Lego Marvel game, which I think it probably is, it's sounding pretty similar. Like in that one, it had like a Lego version of New York City and similar sort of thing. Whereas you unlocked new heroes with new abilities, then you could do that. It seems pretty similar. It also like in the Lego or in the Marvel game they had I guess it was Deadpool bricks, where if you did the special Deadpool levels, then you could unlock like double the amounts of studs that you collect or triple, and like it snowballed very quickly where suddenly you had like millions and millions of studs, more than you could even spend.
Yeah, and that's how it should be.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
It's so fun.
The difference between Marvel Lego Superheroes and Lego City is that Lego City is much more open. There's a lot more to explore than the Marvel one.
Cool.
Which is what I think makes it a better game. Plus, it's original characters, which makes it's Lego humor, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem with that game is the atrocious load screens. They're forever, and there's tons of them.
It was like that in the Marvel game too, where it was just like, wow, you're loading for a really long time. That was rough. But
other than that, it's great.
Yeah, I seriously plan on picking up the new Lego Avengers one when it comes out later.
Oh, it's already. I'm waiting for that release date to get it. Every time I look for it, it's like Lego Jurassic World. No, I need the Avengers one.
Yeah.
Hello.
Did we lose Zach again? Do we lose Justin again? Do we lose everybody again? Apparently we did. Love live shows.
Can anybody hear me? Did we all lose everybody?
I think I'm back.
I'm back.
Hola.
Masson?
Did we all lose each other though?
I don't know. Like it made the noise and everything.
Yeah,
Anyone hear me?
we can now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skype, what the crap, dude? Okay.
I didn't
the
touch
best
anything
part-
this time. I swear to God.
The best part is we talked like a half hour before the show started, and nothing happened.
Typical. That's okay. Hang on. Let me just check to see where we were last at. That you enjoy, and you get to play a pretty similar game regardless. So. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna go from there. Do you guys have anything, or do you want? Should we just make a straight transition? We good?
I'd asked a quick question about what did you pick up for your PS4?
Hang on. Don't say that yet. Okay. Just wait. Shut up, Justin. Say it again in this. Okay, you can say it now.
Okay. So you picked up your PS4. What did you pick up for your PS4?
Well, because the PS4 is expensive, and I didn't want to go nuts, especially considering there's Splatoon and other Nintendo games that I care about a lot. I really bought the PS4 for Rock Band 4 because it's my favorite game of all time, is Rock Band. But I got the Last of Us bundle because I never got to play it on the PS3.
Nice.
So I'm gonna play through The Last of Us, although I played it a little bit today, and I'm just kind of mortified at like stomping people's faces in. Like I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I can handle doing this as a person. This is why I play Lego games.
Yeah. And probably the reason why you're more inclined to play Nintendo
games,
And
right?
if you get PlayStation Plus, don't forget to check out the free games every month. I've
had a PS3, so I'm on that roll.
All right.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, this month there's like 7 games, 4 of them on PS4. It's insane.
Man, I wish that Nintendo would get on that train and do something similar to that. That would be amazing.
Just give me Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, I don't like. Give me some crappy like Game Boy game, Virtual Console,
Right.
every month. I don't even
Pokemon the
care.
card game.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, just anything.
Pokemon Pinball and more Pokemon Shuffle puzzle games.
Yeah, you know what? That game, by the way, moving into other stuff that I've been playing, and then we'll come back around to you to round it out, Jesse. I've been playing more Pokemon Puzzle League, and I had some people online, you know, giving me some tips on how to not suck as much on that game, and I did actually get past that level that I was stuck on, which is nice. But that game continues to surprise me at how fun it is. It's still pretty awesome. I guess I don't really have a lot to add to it, other than that I am pleasantly surprised with that game, and I feel like I'm not as bad at it as I was before. The other thing, surprisingly, I don't know why I did this, but I've been eyeing, of all things, now just as kind of like a background, I do enjoy like doing some, you know, as a hobby, some like drawing and sketching and stuff like that. And I ended up picking, just like on a whim today, a few days ago, picked up Pokemon Art Academy. Have any of you guys played that?
No, but I want to. It looks
It's-
fun to me.
It's really kind of bizarre. Like it's a sort of, I mean, I picked up the regular Art Academy when I got my old XL. I got it and very quickly was like, this is not for me. I'm sitting here like, you know, drawing apples and junk as part of the lesson, and it wasn't very exciting to draw. Like, that's not what I like to draw, you know? Like, I like to draw like ridiculous cartoon characters and superheroes and whatever.
Yeah, the same
so-
thing when I gave that the first version to my youngest daughter who likes to draw, and she just didn't like being told what to draw and how to draw it. She just wanted to do
Yeah.
her own thing.
Or
But,
like if you're gonna teach somebody how to draw, don't have them draw boring things. Like, have them draw exciting things.
Yeah, I'm wanting
Pokemon.
to get her the Pokemon version when
Yeah.
once her grades get up,
Yeah. so,
and I
like,
give her
it's
her 3DS back.
Nice. So I picked that up and it's been pretty fun so far. Like my one of my complaints would be that getting through the initial tutorials and stuff, you do have to kind of get through them. Like, it's very rudimentary. Like, draw a circle and shade it in. Now draw a triangle, and you know, like, it's very straightforward. But I'm getting to the part now where I think they break it down to, like, they have the novice lessons, and it's very much like drawing a Pokemon's head, and then the apprentice ones, you start using different materials. So like, you draw a picture of you know, with pencils, or drawing with pastels and stuff like that. And now I'm actually into, I think they call it the expert, is the third level, and it's getting a lot more complex, and you know, teaching you about shading and different ways of doing shading. And that's one thing I've been really impressed with, is as somebody who has drawn on an iPad a lot, like, I'll use I think it used to be called Adobe Ideas, it's called something else now. But basically, where it's very much filters, nice. It's using layers and playing with opacity for shading and all of that kind of stuff. It's actually really impressive, the depth and the sort of the tools at your disposal to use out there. Like, as far as making a really good looking picture, it's pretty impressive. So I'm really enjoying it and liking it, and I kind of picked it up knowing that, like, some of the lessons are using styles or materials or looks that I won't particularly go back to, but it's fun to kind of play around with anyways. But there are others that, you know, I feel like I'm learning new sort of techniques for shading and lighting and things like that, just little tricks to play around with. Which was the main reason that I picked up the game. So it's been a lot of fun. They have a contest going on right now. They've got a couple of them. One of the contests is, if you can submit, if you've played the most recent Pokemon game, they have the cosplay Pikachu, or the dress up Pikachu, where it has different costumes. You submit your own picture on on Miiverse or whatever, and you can submit your picture, and the winner will actually be made into an actual Pokemon card. that will be distributed like as a promotional item. So I did one. It's not very good, but whatever. It's online. I actually posted it to Miiverse, so you can check it out. I guess if you follow me on Miiverse, it's just Dorgon, Dorgon, so you can check it out. It's kind of weird looking, but whatever.
I gotta check it out now.
It's pretty dumb. It's like a superhero Pikachu that I don't know. I found some pose online and just kind of used it as a template, but. Yeah, so that's the main thing that I've been playing this week, and of course, Codename Steam's coming up, so I made sure that I had all of the coins and all the collectibles stuff done in the demo, so that I can transfer it over to the full version coming up. So, Jesse, I guess what have you been playing this? What have you been playing this week to round us out here?
That superhero Pikachu is actually pretty cool. I like it.
Nice. Well, thank you. It was a fun thing to draw.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to draw in there. It's really funny.
Well, yeah, this little sketch is one of the things my daughter likes to doodle on, and for 13, that's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
All right, so
For all our video watchers or our viewers, at least.
all one of
All
us.
of our audio podcast people, it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all one of our video watchers.
Imagine the Mona Lisa, nothing like that though.
If you really want to know what I should, if you really wanted to see it,
Brutal.
check out the YouTube video with all the Skype hiccups and everything. It'll be all in there. Okay, so I finished up Majora's Mask, so I can scratch that off my list of Zelda games I've played and never completed. There is now 2 games left.
Nice. So you did end up beating it then?
I beat it and I 100%ed it.
Nice, man. So you were like cussing out at the end of that game. Hey,
Yeah.
the end of that game. There's a few spots where it gets super frustrating and it asks you to do things that
I never got good at that. The rock guy rolling.
the Goron, yeah.
Yeah.
Where you basically play pinball, right?
Right, and on the N64 controllers, on the N64 game, you just had to push a button to get into the roll. You didn't have to touch the joystick at all. So as long as you stayed centered, you hit those chests, which are angled at the right angle, you'll just go bounce, 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 and you don't have to worry about falling off. But the 3DS version, they changed it so just pressing A rolls you into the ball, and you have to hold up. On the N64, that wouldn't have been an issue either, because they had a little octagonal inside the joystick, so you can lock into up, lock into down, lock into northeast. To your eight main directions. Circle Pad doesn't have that. So as I'm trying to go in a straight line, I'm going left and right, and oh crap! I fell off again.
You have to feather it a little bit. Hey, like it's really hard to
Yeah.
get going. For sure.
And even when it looked like all I needed to do was just hold up, after the first rebound and jump, I still felt like I always needed to lean left. If I didn't lean left, I fell. So it took me a long time to get that down.
Yeah.
But once I finally got it, I was so happy. And I must say that the Oni Link mask, or the Fierce Deity mask, is the ultimate win button.
Oh, it's just like easy mode,
You-
right?
you-
It's like the easiest
Yeah.
thing ever to win that boss.
I looked at the Sheikah Stone hitbox and how to defeat the last boss, and it's got some good tips for actual strategy and how to beat them. If you got that mask, you don't need it. Just wail on the A button until you win.
Yeah. It's
So I might go back and play it without using it just to try to get the strategy down, but that's not high priority.
Yeah, that game's super fun.
All right. So
I'm really impressed with that.
So after that, I needed a game to kind of cool down my mind, and as I said earlier, Tipping Stars isn't it. That is, I got frustrated on level 2-1-2-2. I'm like, I cannot play this, and
Go get Lego City.
and I did try. I went to my friends' list of friends submitted, and Andre from Game Explain posted a video that had almost 500 likes on it. Or not a video, but a level that I couldn't figure out what to do. The only action I could see to do ultimately led to my death. I couldn't find any way to stop it. This obviously can be completed because he was posted, but I couldn't figure it out.
He's got that analysis machine, and it's not fair that he can make levels that are like, there's only one way, and it's probably like you
that
can, like,
and
play
hit
it in reverse or something ridiculous.
That and him or
zoom in by 300% and freeze frame.
that and him or someone from his site has been playing it for 3 weeks before it launched, so they've beaten the game and has already earned enough stars to buy almost everything. So they're able to play with technologies that I haven't even
They got
gotten
Mario
to
Party
yet.
10 yesterday.
Yeah,
Like,
hey Nintendo.
Yeah,
Where's our copy? Must have lost
Yeah,
the mail.
Hey,
Where's
Bill
character?
Trinan.
and they're already posting videos. It doesn't.
Bill Trinan, what the heck, man?
and Reggie, man.
I
Okay.
would love tomorrow to see in our inbox an email for either Bill Trennan or Reggie.
Right. So
We're deeply sorry.
so so in trying to find a game to play, I went through my
Steamed.
I went through my folders of games now that we can have folders on the 3DS. And I went, oh, I haven't looked at my DSi games in a while. So I looked through there and found a game that I've already played through twice called Color Cross. I've talked about Picross before. That's, when I think our Game of the Year last year episode, I gave props to to Picross E4 and E5. This is made by a different company, but it's a little different in that it uses color in addition to just being X or not or solid for each cell. So you start out, the easy puzzles only have 2 colors, and they ultimately get to 8 colors. So you start doing 1 color at a time, you get a Picross grid, and then you solve it like you'd solve any other Picross grid. And most of the time, you're not going to be able to complete it. You'll end up with some impossible situation. So then you flip to the next color, where all the X's you got from that first color ultimately will be one of the other colors. So when you're done,
This is super cool.
when you're done,
I've
you
never
will
even heard of this before.
you will have a grid that is all full of colors. Yeah, I'm probably 75% through it. I'll probably have it finished by this weekend. But the instead of
How much is this game? This looks awesome.
I don't know. I bought it probably 5 years ago, but I'll try to find it during the course of the show. But it's more of the methodical, logical thinking that relaxes me versus the figuring out new stuff from the Mario game I wasn't ready for. So
Yeah, there's definitely like two kinds of puzzle games that seem to be coming out recently, and maybe this is just in general. But there's this sort of sitting down, thinking, methodical sort of puzzle game, and then there's like the frantic beat the clock sort of deal, like Mario versus Donkey Kong, or like even I would say that the not Pokemon Shuffle but Battle Troze was more of the beat the clock, like, oh crap, I gotta do this, versus whereas Shuffle is a little more methodical and take your time, relax a little bit more with it. So I've never even heard of this Color Cross game, but the fact that there is more Picross on the eShop that I didn't know about, that's awesome.
yeah, the Nintendo site doesn't show the price for DSiWare, but apparently it also had the DSiWare version is called Animal Color Cross, so it only deals with animal pictures. But apparently there was a full DS release called Color Cross that did other things.
So I'm looking on the eShop right now. Animal Color Cross is $5 on the eShop, DSiWare. So there you go.
And it's worth it if you like Picross, and it's one of those games that you play it you spend a week, 2 weeks playing it, put it down. You'll eventually want to come back a year later and play it again. Now, this is my third time through it.
Put that on the box. You'll pick it up and play it a little bit, and then come back a year later and want to play it a little bit more.
Box quote, Nintendo Nets
There you
podcast.
go.
Hey,
Yeah, nice.
then the last thing I wanted to kind of rant about is the stylus that they give you with the new 3DS.
Oh, dude.
My first thought is,
Yes.
could they design a worse stylus? And then I thought about it, and the answer is yes. The thin metallic telescoping one, that was horrible.
That was worse.
That was worse. This is first runner-up.
It's so like it's kind of I like it because it's a little bit thicker.
You were talking
than the
about
old- than-
you were talking about legs getting numb or something getting numb earlier. My fingers get numb if I'm playing because for more than 10 minutes with that stylus.
I do like that it feels a little bit like it's a little bit chunkier, like as far as like it's thicker. I feel like I don't know if it's true or not, but it feels thicker.
It is thicker, but it's also shorter. So you're that. So I'm playing with the Wii U stylus, and that helps, but it still isn't perfect.
Yeah.
There was two styluses that I've never had a problem with, and I don't know where they are anymore. Actually, one of them broke, but the one that came, I think, with the DSi XL, which was actually it was like a normal pen-shaped thing that unscrewed, and you could put a stylus in it to have a really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was awesome, and I wish
That was
I.
like a full size, like it was like the size of a Sharpie or something. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and it was a full size pen, and it was that felt nice, and I wish I knew what that was. And the other one that I used to have that broke was the stylus that came with Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm.
Oh, really?
That was
I
a-
didn't realize that came with a new one.
The first game, not the second game, but the first Theater Rhythm came with a stylus, and it had a little circle on the top because it also came with little circle stickers. You can stick the face of the character you liked
Right.
on it. I never did that, but that was a nice stylus.
I'm just imagining like, okay, now I'm gonna be Cloud this time and like stuff it,
But-
peel out the sticker.
But I didn't play the second game as much as the first, but I played the hell out of the first one. And if my fingers got numb after 10 minutes, I couldn't play it. But that stylus was awesome. So we need more of that.
It's so funny that they like every single one. You would think that they would just use the same stylus all the way across the board.
Well-
I thought that's where they were going when they had the Wii U tablet or the Wii U stylus and the 3DS XL had the same stylus. I was like, yes, this is great. Like,
did-
they fit they're
On the new
the same.
3DS, did you ever notice? I don't know if you can tell in the camera here, but
It's got the pickaxe, right?
it's got the little wedge in it. You know why?
You're supposed to use that to take the back cover off.
Yeah.
So that you can crack the plastic on the rim of the back of the 3DS when you try to take the panel off to make the SD card bigger.
Right. So
Yeah.
I took the
You know
back.
what it is, so therefore it's so that you can change your face plates. Oh wait, never mind.
That
What?
we don't have.
It's really what you use. That's like what that's designed for.
Right, but yeah. So it's designed to break your 3DS.
I would have a new 3DS if I had the smaller one because I wanted the faceplates, but I'm not buying the other one. I don't need it.
Yeah, yeah. I would have probably gotten a smaller one too.
I would have
right
still.
on, man.
I still would have gone with XL.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's move into the news, guys.
Because there's so
Maybe.
much of it.
All right. So the news for this week, we have again, like you said, Dave. It's kind of slow news week again. I feel like we're there's a little bit of like the calm before the storm. I kind of have that feeling going on right now with Nintendo lately. Codename Steam, obviously. Maybe we'll start with that one actually. Codename Steam coming out this Friday, and reviews are coming in this week. And I am surprised at how divided some of these reviews are. At the same time, I'm not really that surprised. I guess maybe yeah, Metacriticism exactly. In the notes, there. I feel like some of the people. This is definitely going to be one of those games that people either it's doing with other or hate type games. I feel like. That's my impression.
Now that they fixed Majora's Mask, that the people wouldn't have that problem anymore. They'll give us a new game that'll have that problem.
Yeah, so it's sitting at 75 actually on Metacritic. I'm looking at the notes here. It says 73. So their reviews are still coming in. And I think the highest score that it's been given is the Toronto Sun gave it a 90%, whereas the lowest score looks like it's sitting at 40% right now from GameSpot.
That's way divided.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though is like look at this. It says it offers the most frustrating kind of steampunk. It brushes up against potent themes, but then turns its back on them in favor of pure aestheticization. Wow, use a different word there, GameSpot. But yeah, no, I feel like it's, I don't know, like I'm still really excited about this game. IGN gave it a 79. The most common score is an 80. So I'm feeling like that's a little, like that's pretty average for the first entry into a new IP and a new sort of series. I feel like realistically that's probably where we're going to see Splatoon land as well. Although I'm hoping it's higher than that. But yeah, the main criticisms that are coming out of this game, kind of for people who are on the fence as well about it. Obviously, for those of you who have played the demo, it sounds like my main criticisms for the demo are the same criticisms that most people are lobbying against the full game. The inability to skip the enemy turn is kind of a downer, as well as the fact that a lot of people feel like they didn't fully take advantage of the setting and the potential of steampunk Abraham Lincoln and a bunch of literary characters or whatever. But other than that, I mean, 12 positive reviews, 2 mixed, 1 negative, sitting at 75%. So it looks like it's doing pretty good on Metacritic. I don't know what GameSpot's doing, but
I remember on Twitter there was a lot of kickback, apparently, when they announced who voiced Abraham Lincoln.
Mr.
right?
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know what that big deal. Like, if they would have.
I like how I just saw Dave's head shoot up. He was like, "What?"
I did not know that.
Weird, hey?
My here's how I feel about Codename Steam. They showed me this trailer at E3 for this game that I have no idea what's going on. Okay, and then I find out it's a strategy turn-based game, which is just no, not for me, right?
So you weren't into like Fire Emblem?
No,
or
not at all. Not my cup of tea.
I'm in the same boat.
So I was like, okay, I hope this game is okay. And then it just, as people, like the small group of people, like even Game Explain, who got into this idea of what this game is supposed to be, I was all like, I still don't get it. I have no want to play this game. And I'm still sitting there looking at it. And with the demo, like, I don't even have this urge to play the demo.
I was going to ask you if you tried playing the demo.
No, I have not.
Because I couldn't finish it. I couldn't get past the 5th level.
I know I can't finish it, even if I haven't played it. Maybe I should give it a fair shot. Maybe I'll find something amazing in it, but like Fire Emblem and those kind of games just aren't for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it's interesting. With Codename Steam, like it's interesting because aesthetically and kind of if you were to just look at screenshots and short bits of the game, you would think, oh well, this kind of looks like a shooter, but it very much plays out more like a Fire Emblem grid-based strategy game than the initial sort of appearance leads on. So yeah, Justin, you've been playing the demo. Did you end up beating that demo, or did you end up?
No, I haven't ended up beating the demo. I could have been playing some of the other games, but I was kind of actually like Dave when I saw it originally at E3. It did not scratch my interest at all. I thought it was weird, and it really wasn't actually till Zach, you and I really started talking about it that I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a bit of a pass because I'm not a Fire Emblem kind of guy before. Haven't had a chance to play those. Wasn't really kind of my cup of tea, as I said earlier. But kind of the hype train that got around it. It became more interested. I saw kind of some more screenshots, and I knew that this may be a great vehicle for the new 3DS to give it a shot and try. And I really enjoyed the demo. I know I'm going to pick this game up. I think it looks really great. In regards to the score from Metacritic, I think to your point, Zach, this is a new IP from Nintendo. Let's just be happy with that alone. So let's bask in that glory for a moment. I think they're trying something a little bit fun, a little bit new. The same team who has done Fire Emblem, which is Intelligent System. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
yeah, Intelligent System.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of good things happening here. Is it a little bit over the top? Yeah, but I also think it knows what it's trying to be, which is a bit ridiculous and a bit farce. And I think at 80%, guys, it's not a Mario game on the 3DS, which we knew would be like a 9.5. So
Yeah,
something
well, and
new,
here's
give
the
it a
thing.
shot.
And as far as the criticisms for people who are saying well, they aren't using the steampunk aesthetic and the setting as much as I think they should. I think an important thing to keep in mind that that people are kind of forgetting is that this is not steampunk done by a Western studio. This is very much, yes, we have a London-based, American literature, characters, Abraham Lincoln, aliens, that whole setting, but it's done by a Japanese developer, the same people who also did Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, and so it's still going to have that sort of
Paper Mario games.
Yeah, Paper Mario, right? Like, it's still going to have that sort of flavor to it as well. And so I think some people were going into this thinking that it's going to have a Western feel, and I just don't think that's going to, going into it, it's going to be a Japanese take, like almost like an anime take. I mean, all you've got to do is see that trailer with the ridiculous, oversized Abraham Lincoln super robot mech.
Which is still awesome, even though I have no interest in playing it.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, this is going to be an anime flavored version of those characters in that setting, which we've never seen before. So
Steve, what about you? Like, are you ready for this thing?
I was not like on board. I had too many other games to play. I was like, oh, Abe Lincoln. Yeah, meanwhile, on the Monster Hunter / Smash Brothers ship,
he's a Monster Hunter, and he's like, it's just like, all right, well, I don't need to buy any games for the next year.
Here, let me explain to you Steve's life, okay? He put 600 hours into Monster Hunter. How many hours did you put into Pokemon, Steve?
Pokemon Y version, my time counter has stopped at 999 hours and 50 minutes.
I didn't even know that. Let's stop.
Yeah, I started over too, so it's like still
Like,
stuck.
leave the clamshell open and just
No.
like.
I played it that much.
Okay, so then we get Smash Brothers, which is a time sink for anybody if they're trying to unlock like even a reasonable amount of stuff, right? And so then you get Monster Hunter 4, and now he's got to sink all the hours into that. So we're gonna add a IP that looks extremely strange. Like I'm psyched for a new one from Nintendo.
So speaking of time sinks, are you looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles?
Not gonna play that either because I'm gonna play Splatoon a lot.
Yeah, that, I mean, and that's interesting. Like, an interesting sort of discussion in itself is that, like, I feel like, and I've actually mentioned to my wife about this lately, where I kind of would go through like ebb and flow of like, yeah, I'll play some games for a while, and then my 3DS will collect dust for a while, and then something else will come out, and I feel like since starting this podcast, I'm like, oh, I've got to like make sure I'm on the ball like every week. I actually have an obligation to play video games every week now. You know what I mean? Like,
Here was half the reason that when we started our show that we didn't pick like a news segment, kind of like the video game news with Dave and Steve, because that would have required us to do actual work every single week. We can talk about movies from the 90s. We talk episodes on Hey Arnold, and we talk about Sonic based on old games that existed before anything new going on. We're not. And that's
So what you're saying, Dave, is that we are doing this completely wrong.
You're doing it the hard way.
nice. And by the way, as well, I guess we didn't mention this at the top of the show. We're an hour in, so it's a good time as any. But from time to time, I think, unless we decide to eventually do some sort of spin-off podcast, we are planning on doing potentially bonus segments. Given the Apple announcement this week, we're planning after the show's over. If you want to stick around and listen to our commentary on that, feel free to do so. We'll do it at the end of the show so it doesn't bother people who are just not interested in that. But I feel like it as well, Justin. We've kind of talked about, when the new Avengers movie comes out, we'll probably do it for that.
We should probably have these guys on then too.
Hey man,
You guys can come on our show and talk
There you
about
go.
Avengers with us.
Yeah.
Because we can do that because we don't have a structure.
There you go, man. Awesome. So yeah, that's so. Yeah,
Invitation accepted.
All
There
right.
you go.
So you were actually talking a couple moments ago about Splatoon, Dave. And maybe that's probably a good section to segue over to, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's been some rumors recently about the potential, obviously, I don't know if you guys as well, there's been some stuff leaking out a little bit about Splatoon. If you've been paying attention to their, I think it's Tumblr feed, their Twitter feed. They've been showing gameplay videos of different weapons and stuff like that. They recently showed off the roller and how that, some gameplay footage of the roller, paint roller specifically, and how it's kind of like a spread sort of shot, and then you can just roll people over with it and stuff like that. But there was also some, I think it was out of, I don't know, somewhere where
Brazil.
Was it Brazil?
Yeah.
Okay, basically saying that that Splatoon is going to be getting amiibo support, and as well, there was also a listing on the eShop that had amiibo support as well on the eShop listing. So it's looking
and
like
I'm actually on the eShop listing right now. It looks like they have removed that.
They have removed that basically so that it's no longer, the announcement was leaked basically or something. Yeah. But there is suspicion, and there has been some rumors that there are going to actually be Splatoon amiibo released as well. Probably, I would suspect, alongside the game. So, Justin, or I guess anybody, are you interested in Splatoon amiibo, and what sort of implementation would you like to see in the game?
Well, I say we flip that question over to the Character Crunch guys, because I see their wall behind them is for those of you that are not watching the live cast, a wall of amiibo hanging there. So I have a feeling that Dave and Steve are probably amiibo addicts. I know that Dave's mentioned Splatoon a couple times, so I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this one for sure.
The amiibo wall behind me is my and my fiance's collection of these amiibos that I'm still not even sure why I'm buying, because they're here's the thing, they're awesome. They're awesome figures.
And by my count is really 21. Well. That's a 7x3 grid, right?
I've spent approximately $350 on amiibo when we add it all up, which could have bought my PS4 and another Wii U or another Wii U. And Splatoon amiibo just sounds great, like 100% great. I don't care if they just transfer my custom weapons, so if I go to Steve's house and we're playing co-op on his console, if I just can bring my character on my amiibo, then I'm totally psyched with that. Because what were they listed? They were listed as amiibo boy, amiibo girl, and like special.
And then I think the squid, like a squid amiibo as well. So you have like the boy, the girl, and the squid, or something like that.
Right. And like if they just transferred my custom weapons, that would be great.
Yeah, so you basically have like your own build out that you can then take to your friend's house.
Right, and that just, it basically functions as a PS2 memory card.
Nice. Or like when you used to save your game, save your Mii to your Wii remote or whatever.
Did anybody do that except me? Because I feel like I did that once and found out it was a pain, and then
wow,
never did it again.
I think I looked it up once, realized it was a pain, and never tried it.
The Wii remote. Let's go.
No, but I would absolutely buy amiibo. What I would want these 20-ish, 24-ish something amiibos on this wall. I probably should have counted them. But it'll hurt my wallet when I realize how many of these I bought. I would like them to unlock like the custom designs of these characters. So I get Mega Man helmets, or I get,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I get Sonic shoes, or I get, and I mean, this is what I'm begging for in amiibo support in all Nintendo games, but we're not getting it. We're getting pixelated Toad and Toad Treasure Tracker, and you unlock random Hyrule Triforce spinners every single day in Hyrule Warriors. And
you get a rupee.
I get you get a special gift from your amiibo. 1 rupee. Great. I can not level up anybody with that because.
Yeah, that's. I think it's kind of going off what you were saying. I feel like because of the focus on collecting gear and customizing your character, I think that they basically could do what they did with the Mario Kart racing suits and kind of do that idea on steroids, where you have a specific piece of gear that you can get, and maybe they want to randomize the stats or something so you can do it multiple times. But basically having like each character have a specific piece of equipment or gear that you can unlock with that amiibo. So you could have like, Samus's gun arm as a paint gun, or you could have, different like special items.
Kind of like what they did with Bayonetta.
Yeah, so yeah, similar sort of thing. I don't know how far they want to take it, if they want to make it, totally overbearing within the game, like, because I think that's also kind of a concern in any game. So far they haven't done that, where it's really gone too far. But in a new world like this, basically where, you know, maybe even looking at something as a model more of similar to what they did in, I think it was the 3DS Mario Tennis game, where it was just like costumes. If in this particular world, all of these other Nintendo franchises exist as just a sort of franchise, then you could have like equipment that is styled after all of these different characters. I think that'd be really awesome. So yeah. What about you, Justin? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Amiibo is a no-brainer on this. I mean, I think it's their strategy going forward. Every single product they're going to put out for Nintendo, if possible, will probably have Amiibo tied into it in some context. I actually really like Dave's suggestion about you use like the Mega Man and you get the Mega Man Buster for an arm. I hadn't really thought of that. I think it's a really brilliant idea. I hope that's what they're going to do. So that means if I hope that's what they're going to do, they're not going to do that.
Right.
So I just want to set myself up for real expectations.
I want these things, but it doesn't mean Nintendo will give them to me, Reggie and Iwata, and you guys need to listen to me and give me Amiibo things, because otherwise, as much as I love them, they're staying in these pretty boxes to hang on this wall. And
Yeah.
I don't know, that's worth $14 a piece.
Yeah, eventually, you know, it's funny, like I kind of noticed that eventually when you have a collection that big, you start to notice the new ones less, and so there's less of an appeal as you get more and more of them. But yeah, I mean, just as well for Amiibo, there have been some images released of the new, some people getting with the new Mario Party Amiibos. Mario Party going out to reviewers and stuff like that. It appears that the Mario Party Amiibo, or I guess it's the Super Mario line of Amiibo, they seem to be built and they're just a little bit larger than the current Amiibo. When stood up next to the Smash Brothers Mario, the Mario's taller, and they seem obviously like they're bulkier and more durable as well. So
to be fair, Smash Brothers Mario is like hunched over. I mean, I don't know. I reserved Mario Party with the Mario Amiibo in the box. So,
and apparently
I'll
that's the only way you can get that one too. Hey,
at least at launch, I think
that's what they say. But then they're also doing that stupid gold Mario that's only at Walmart that I'm gonna end up waiting outside for some reason, because I know my life.
So Dave, are you committed? You know, obviously you're committed to trying to complete the set for your Super Smash Brothers Amiibo. Are you the same way for the Mario series as well?
My opinion of the Mario series is that I want any character that wasn't part of the Smash Brothers. So I have Toad paid off and reserved in the mail from GameStop. So that should arrive whenever those get shipped.
yeah.
Toad is going to be the hot item for that one.
I didn't need anybody off that series other than Toad. And the only reason I'm getting Mario is because I don't know, it's like $10 more and it comes with Mario Party. And then I can open that Mario and unlock Amiibo mode, because that looks like the Mario Party mode I want to play, because it's just classic Mario Party. And that's what I want. I don't want to drive around in the car, and I don't want to play Bowser Party.
Yeah.
Totally. Right on. Wow, that was a good voice crack. Totally. Awesome. Right on. So let's move on, guys. Dave, Steve, your podcast is the Character Crunch podcast, and we're gonna have a little bit of discussion about what your favorite Nintendo characters are. I think. Why don't you guys
brought this conversation up? Actually,
you guys brought it up. Awesome. So why don't you guys just kind of start us off? What do you think?
Steve, I went on my Amiibo rant, so you have to tell them your favorite character. And I know it's not Mario, because you talk about how much you hate Mario on our show. But
Don't put me on the spot here, man.
I'm sorry, Mario.
thank you. I did see Steve's count at one point again. I think we're up to 8 or 9 now.
I'm at 6, but Steve might be better than me.
We're going. I'll keep track. Don't worry. When we say Nintendo characters, what exactly does this pertain to? Is it's official Nintendo IP? Are these characters that primarily are shown on Nintendo consoles?
I think the way I would venture is any character that you have been able to encounter playing a Nintendo system.
Okay.
So Smash Brothers rosters for a full game?
That would count as well. Yep.
Sonic, no, just kidding. Because that's his only good game is Smash Bros.
Oh, that's sad.
It's me.
Well, okay. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Genesis and the Sonic Adventure games and the other 2D side-scrolling good Sonic games. But not Boom, not Lost World.
Don't even talk about Boom, man. That's like an insult.
I thought that game didn't exist.
No, it was featured right next to Smash Brothers on the.
No, it
E3
doesn't exist in-
on launch day.
It doesn't exist up here.
It never happened.
Sonic Boom.
If we ignore it long enough, it'll just go away.
So, Steve, what do you got for us?
That's a really hard question. I feel like because, I mean, to think about what my favorite character from Nintendo is, I feel like I have to track back through all the experiences I've had with Nintendo, and in terms of like my handheld experiences, that made up most of it. So the only real experiences that I can concretely say would really shape my idea of what my favorite character would be, it would be a hard tie, and I mean like a seriously hard tie, between Mega Man and a certain Pokemon in the Pokemon series. And it's
Like a very specific Pokemon. What are we
yes.
talking about here?
Yeah, the Pokemon Sableye is arguably.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. See, it's a hard question because Mega Man is the type of character where it's like, it's that question that like I am robot type of question where it's like you have a robot who I don't know if they feel or not. I don't know if they think or not. Like you assume they think, you know, they work, they do their job, they follow these instructions, they go on these missions to fight all these other robots and whatever. And it's so like you want to see yourself in them, but at the same time you can't really tell if they're the type of machine, type of individual that you could really feel yourself inside of. With Pokemon, on the other hand, when you think about a Pokemon are just creatures, you know, whatever various kinds and types and random assortments of animals with, you know, Nazca lines or whatever on them. And Sableye, very much so, more than probably a bunch of other Pokemon, interested me because of its origin story. I don't know if anybody knows what it is.
I remember hearing that it's super weird, but I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I come to you with Pokemon questions, Steve. You don't ask me Pokemon questions. That's the rule.
Yeah, I was like,
999 hours exceeding.
yeah,
We defer to your wisdom, good sir.
This is why we have Roger in the wings. For things like this.
I know.
He's Roger's base on Twitter and Facebook, if you guys don't know him. He's kind of our pocket Pokemon expert. And I think we lost people again. Yay! Thank you, Skype. This is going to be a fun show.
I'm just gonna delete from there.
Thank you,
You'll
Skype.
never even know. You'll never even know that I've had to cut all of this. I'm like editing on the fly here.
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling.
Steve and I have
Delete.
Steve and I have a saying that we say at the beginning of half our episodes is fix it in post.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when I used to run a show and did the editing, it literally would take me 4 hours to edit a 1 hour show. I was that anal about it. So it is nice to be in a more relaxing environment in this show.
we
Yeah, it's so
typically
much
don't
more-
have this many technical problems.
Yeah, it's weird. I wonder if even it's just like Skype. Well, I mean, we didn't have that many problems when like Roger or Scott or whatever was going on. I don't know. Then again, my internet was better back then.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how much you heard, but I was mentioning Roger's base. You know, that's his name on Twitter and Facebook. He's kind of our pocket Pokemon expert.
Ah,
Yeah, he's big deal on the YouTubes, I guess. I don't know, sorta.
Yeah,
So
he talks to Josh Thomas on BitBlock and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
were
pretty
throwing us the origin story there, though, Steve?
yeah.
Okay, here. Let me just ask you the question again once I start hitting record.
All right.
1 sec. So, Steve, tell us the backstory of Sableye then.
Yeah, see, some Pokemon interest me because when I was in high school, had this weird infatuation with cryptozoology. I talked about it a bit on our show at one point, about how I basically went on this binge of research about things that don't exist through high school. And Sableye, their backstory is based on a close encounter with the fourth kind, I guess, that happened a long time ago in, I forget if it was the southern U.S. or something. But basically, people said they saw aliens, and I guess the guys at Game Freak decided, hey, we should take that design of that, that very cryptic, weird alien picture they drew and make it into a Pokemon and change all its backstory. So instead of it being a creepy alien, it's just a scary thing that lives in caves and made out of diamonds.
That's super creepy. I'm looking at the pictures, man. It's like I love the weird, like, there are so many weird Pokemon in that, like, I mean, initially you'll think, oh look, it's all these cute monsters that fight and there's dragons and whatever, and then there's this weird doll that is made out of people's souls. It's just like, what the crap? Game Freak, what are you doing? And here's the ice cream cone Pokemon, and like there's such a huge variety there.
Garbage bags Pokemon.
Yeah, and there's just like for every garbage Pokemon, there's like some really, really cool concepts there. And there's a lot of really fun stuff there. So, very cool. What about you, Dave? What is your favorite Nintendo character?
See, I was too into Steve's Pokemon story because his is so much better than mine. My favorite characters of late are the Miis. Just kidding. I think I've attached onto Link because everybody was playing Majora's Mask lately. I was like, I'm gonna play Ocarina of Time 3D. So I mean, I've been playing that game again and again, and just like I played that game so many times. And Link was my main in the original Super Smash Brothers for the N64. It's like a nostalgia thing. It's like I've never really beat a Zelda game all the way through with 100%, but it always I like the sense of adventure and that Link is basically me. That, or I was gonna say also like Red from the original Pokemon series.
Yeah, the original trainer, right? Yeah.
Right. And I was gonna say that because that is, again, you get to put yourself in that spot and be that trainer. Plus, the Pokemon Origins anime they made with X and Y was super good, and I'm not that exciting.
Very cool. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin? Where do you fall on all of this?
Yeah, I think for me, my favorite Nintendo characters I have met through the games, actually, to no shock, if you look at our avatars on our album art, is actually Donkey Kong. In the 1990s version of Donkey Kong, when he kind of transitioned into wearing a tie, that's when he got a little more formal and a little more business orientated, which I appreciate.
DK, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, that was huge. I think for me, he's big, he's loud, he's kind of hairy. So for me, there's a kinship to that, which I get. But interestingly enough,
that borderline's TMI there.
Yeah, I got a beard going on already, so I'm getting there. But for me, actually, one of the reasons that it connects with me so much is I have very distinct memories playing that game with my mom, Donkey Kong Country, like getting it for my birthday and just playing, just hanging out with her on the couch playing video games all night. She wasn't very much of a video game player, but she'd play that with me, and she was one of those parents who kind of did the before the Wii remote was out and believed that you could flick the controller and the player would jump higher. She would do that with like a plugged-in SNES controller. So like rip the controller out of the thing every single time in the stupid minecart levels. So for me, that's
no motion control in the NES. Sorry,
No, I was like, sorry, Mom, it's not there. I'm sure in like 20 years from now, someone's gonna think it's an awesome idea, but right now it's not working. So back up.
Kind of with the Power Glove.
Right?
Yeah.
I owned one of those.
You know what the funniest thing about that Power Glove is? Like, literally, like 2 weeks ago was the first time I've ever actually held one in my hands.
I don't think I've ever actually seen
ever,
one in person.
ever in my hands. Like I knew it existed. I knew it was a thing, but like I'd never touched one. And like the weird like family-owned James Games resale game shop down the street had one like just like sitting on the ground like in the aisle, and I was like, it's a Power Glove. I've never seen these.
I had one of those and the Super Nintendo Bazooka, the Super Scope.
Oh, nice.
My cousin gave me like the NES with Duck Hunt, the Zapper, and like a Super Nintendo, and like all the games, like literally everything. So I got to play those as a kid, like when I was probably like 12, and I mean that is huge memories. But like I was missing a Power Glove. I never got a Rob the Robot. I'd love to see one of those in person.
Yeah,
See, all this stuff was new when I was 12.
a bunch of the stuff didn't exist because we weren't born yet.
Like I said, Character Crunch are the kids of the Nintendo dads in
Yeah.
the sense that we are the generation after that are playing them when the N64 was cool and new when we were kids.
I got the teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
You're the
We're not
college
that-
kids.
I was gonna say I'm considerably younger than. Well, I guess not that much younger. We've kind of made jokes of that before, but yeah, no. I was gonna say mine. I remember the N64 was kind of my first Nintendo console. We got it when I was in I guess what would have been like high school, early high school. I got an N64, and it was interesting. One of my favorites, one of the first games that I really remember latching onto, character-wise, as far as characters that I really was drawn to, was in Star Fox 64. Nintendo has kind of done Star Fox a little bit of a disservice since then. I feel like they've
Dinosaur Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube.
And I was listening to the Nintendo World or Radio Free Nintendo, and Johnny Metz had this awesome suggestion for the new Star Fox game, and I hope they do it, but I kind of think they probably won't. Is the idea of kind of taking the feel of the Star Fox 64 games and kind of mixing the sort of Thunderbirds sort of feel, where it's like the puppets and things like that. I think that would be a great take on Star Fox. It's such a kind of ridiculous, like, knowing it's kind of self-serious within the universe, but you can tell that it's so cartoony and fun, and I just love the characters in that game. Star Fox in particular is just it's just such a fun world, and all of those characters are just great. So
Do a barrel roll. The best thing about the new Star Fox Wii U game that we got is they confirmed classic controls as an option. So we're never gonna we're not gonna have to play as some god crazy forsaken Wii U gamepad slap on control
yeah,
key.
exactly. Yeah, we kind of mentioned that a couple of weeks ago too, where it's nice that they're not going to shoehorn in ridiculous stuff, that we will be able to use those controls. But again, the characters in general, I just feel like they're so fun and interesting. And a close second, I would say, is I really enjoyed the Metroid Prime series, and Samus is just a great character as far, just from a character design perspective. Just that iconic armor, and just the look there is great. And that was the first amiibo that I was really excited to get, was the Samus amiibo when those were announced. So
No double cannon Samuses. Anybody
No.
see any of those?
No $1,200 eBay price on that one. I think it's actually interesting. As you're kind of jumping between those ideas, and actually even including a bit of Dave and Steve's, the characters that Nintendo has provided over this time, or has allowed us to play. And even if you look at the IPs that they've had ownership of, whether it's Star Fox, whether it's Donkey Kong, whether it's Metroid, these are all very different characters. Right? Like, none of them feels like just a slight skew of, like, Metroid doesn't feel like Star Fox in any context, and they each have a depth to them. Go ahead, sorry, you there, Dave?
Like Yoshi's a platformer. It's a Mario platformer, by far. But a Yoshi game doesn't play anything like a Mario game, and
Yeah, exactly.
and that's impressive in itself. They're their IPs. They're the same kind. They're even most of their games have been platformers. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
And none of them play the same.
yeah, they're all very different. Absolutely. Jesse, are we? What? I don't want to leave you out here. Where do you fall on all of this?
I kind of have a few joke answers before I get into my serious one. The first one is from Zelda 2. Error.
Nice.
I am Error.
I choose the L Pokemon from the problem.
Missing them.
Or the unknowns. Okay. Another another joke one when you mentioned it can be from any game played on a Nintendo console would be Koromaru, Teddy, and the whole Persona 3 and 4 crew. Because those characters are just awesome. I still never finished that game, and I probably will never get back to it. All right, then as for kind of a semi-serious one, I remember really liking Groose from Skyward Sword.
Groose. I never finished Skyward Sword. Who's this?
He
That's
was
the
a
only Zelda game I've never even attempted is Skyward Sword.
oh it starts
I know,
out slow,
I know.
but it ends it's a good ending. He was like started off as like the bully of the school, the
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of remember.
and he kind of grows as a character as it goes through, and it's the Gruesinator is kind of awesome.
Very cool.
Gruesinator.
That's what it's called. I'm not making that up. It's basically a catapult to attack the enemy. Okay, now so my one serious answer I think would be the many incarnations of Zelda herself. She has over the games she has been the dainty damsel in distress and the one who is the badass helping you with the light arrows. So she in itself has a large range of characters within herself, and
Hyrule Warriors prove she's awesome.
that is true.
Yeah, and I think that's a great example of creating a character. When they originally wrote her character back in the original, when the original game came out, of course they had thought this is how far they go with her, but sticking with these characters
Of course,
and have such
back then she was a
history.
single sprite or two sprites, arms down and arms up holding the Triforce. That was all she did.
But over the time with these IPs, with these characters that we have very much grown to love and have played several times, you create these stories that unfold and this depth to a character that I don't think a lot of times companies would have that forethought or time to create. And I know, especially as a parent raising two young daughters, right? Having a very strong character in a video game such as Zelda, where she can kind of go from appearing to be the damsel in distress, but really kicking a lot of A in the background, right? I think is an incredible character to use and to be. And I think that it's not a story of a damsel in distress, much like we'd argue the crutch of every Mario game is like seriously, get Princess Peach an iPhone, get her find my iPhone, and you're fine. Seriously, right? But it doesn't necessarily become a damsel in distress story. It grows and it changes, and I think it's a beautiful thing about so many of Nintendo's characters and IPs.
The beauty of Nintendo's IPs, they get to bank on our nostalgia purely. You can really, once again, here's the amiibo conversation again, is that they can release any amiibo and I'm going to pay money for it because I care about that character.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I buy a Fox amiibo? Oh, that's right, Star Fox 64, which is the last great Star Fox game, and it was awesome. But when did Star Fox 64 really come out?
If only there was a device that could tell me.
late 90s.
Only there was a series of tubes. Yeah, but no, I hear
called the internet, right?
Yeah, no, I think and there's
1997.
There's so many great characters, and I think that. So I think we should turn this over to the community as well, and you guys let us know on Twitter as well. What are your favorite Nintendo characters, and why, and all of that goodness. So right on. Hey guys, let's head in quickly before we round this out here. Let's get into our listener interactions here.
It's really too bad that the people can't see the video podcast there very often, although you can check it on YouTube. Is actually Steve and Dave jamming out to our transition music and bobbing their heads along with the rest of us. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, right on, guys.
Yeah, it's old hat for us, but this is the first time they were hearing this.
Yeah, it's super grandiose and amazing. And, I just love it. Awesome. So this week, yesterday was. By the way, can I just say that yesterday was Mario Day, and when I realized why it was Mario Day, can I just say that I was like, oh, really? Like,
I don't even know.
Wait.
Why?
So why was it Mario Day?
because
I'm sorry,
it was
Mario Day.
because it was March 10th, and so March MAR10. So I oh, really? That's why.
Oh,
That's really terrible. Like that's on par with like May the 4th be with you. Like,
or
um,
Pi Day on Saturday.
yeah.
Or
right?
see you next year when everybody says by New Year's. Like,
ID 10T error.
Yeah, I was like, oh, really? That's why it's Mario Day? I was just so excited, and then you just ruined it. So, nah. But anyways, so Zora, we did ask on Facebook though, what are your in celebration of Mario Day? What are your favorite what is your favorite Mario game? And we got a couple of great answers, Justin, from our community.
Yeah, so EJ, aka Picasco. Check out the Picasco.
he buys everything in bulk, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where you buy your
Doesn't take credit card.
whole cubism
yeah.
or
Jera Ray says, "Man, I keep it classic and go with the Super Mario Brothers 3D, and that is classic.
Not 3D,
three.
just
3D.
Mario
It says
3.
3D. Oh man,
You said 3D.
I did say 3. So, but yeah, Super Mario 3 Brothers Classic. As a matter of fact, I actually downloaded that from the eShop a couple days ago with my remaining reward coins to use, and that is a fantastic game. That is just wonderful. And then we have I get the you guys always give me like the worst names.
Zero,
Sorry?
it's Bear Jesse.
Sarahwood's Bear Jesse, who said Super Mario RPG. Now, I never played this RPG game. Did you guys?
Yeah, it was. No, I never did. It was for the Super Nintendo. Wasn't it developed by SquareSoft when they were called SquareSoft?
Yes, that's one of those games like Majora's Mask was, where I've started it 4 or 5 times, never finished it, and I want to, but it just right midway through.
It is one of those games where I look at it and I'm like, man, I really am interested in this game, but at the same time, it kind of falls under the same category for me, although less shame involved, as like Chrono Trigger. I've never played Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
I've heard it's amazing, but I feel like it's such a time investment that there are so many other games that are newer that I want to play that I feel like I actually own it on Vita, on PlayStation Vita. I have like whatever download off of their store. I own it. I just haven't played it yet. So for that's for Chrono Trigger. But again,
We also asked the same question out on Twitter, and the individual, the main attraction, which is their Twitter handle, replied with Zelda.
Twitter handle.
my favorite Mario game is Zelda. Got it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I was like, well played. Because I said, what game are you going to be playing today to honor the mustached plumber? And his reply was Zelda.
Nice.
It's Nintendo, it counts.
Touche.
Yeah. What about you guys? What are your is there any like favorite Mario game, like classic to you, that comes to mind when you want to play it?
So I'll let you guys go first.
Steve hates Mario.
Don't put this one on me.
I mean, to be fair, as much as I love Super Mario World for the Super NES, is probably that I put the most time into, and like Mario Kart series is my favorite of like the games I play, but my favorite like classic Mario game, and this is gonna be controversial because people will be like Galaxy 2.
Mario is missing.
Yeah, Super
No?
Mario RPG Sticker Star. No.
Not Sticker Star.
No,
That
I
game
know.
is
No, I know.
many
I only
problems.
said it to anger the world.
The internet will roar.
Right. No, my favorite Mario game is really Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U.
Yeah.
It
It's a solid game.
I played it. I didn't play it by myself. I played it with my friend, and we played it all the way together through, and that's what made it so much fun.
Did you
because-
unlock the last level?
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, my son
Yeah.
did that too, and I'm like, ouch. I couldn't
Yeah,
even
no,
do
it's
that.
great. It's great.
Did you beat the last level?
my friend is really good at video games. So can I bubble and beat it with him? Does that count?
You were in the same. Were
I
you in
was
the same room?
I was in the same room, the same way
Sure.
I was when my friend beat
Yeah.
through the fire and flames on Guitar Hero. I was standing in the same room.
Yeah.
It counts.
I have seen the final level. I have not beaten it. In fact, I have not even played it, but my son couldn't beat it either.
No, I think that is the best Mario game.
Nice. I'm actually gonna go with a couple. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's definitely the one I have the most nostalgia and the most memories of. They were the first ones that I played. There were two of them. Which are Super Mario Land 1 and 2 for the Game Boy. They're two totally different styles. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. I played the crap out of that when I was a kid. But that was one of the first games that I got for my Game Boy back in the day and played a ton of that. And both 1 and 2 are on the Virtual Console. And obviously, if you listen to the our opening music, that is straight from Super Mario Land. It's a remix of that original sort of theme there. The first part of it is, at least. So,
I'm sorry. Super Mario Land is the game that I played in the orthodontist when I got braces, and that was the only good thing about going to the orthodontist was
The
playing
Super
on,
Mario-
playing on their Game Boy in the waiting room.
I feel like everybody needs to play Super Mario Land 1 because it is so different from everything, from just about every other Mario game, just as far as the physics go in that game. It's so different.
The sprite is
Super
like
Mario
5
Land-
pixels high.
Yeah, Super Mario Land 2 is a lot more like a traditional Mario game. It has one of the best power-ups, I feel like, in any Mario game, which is the rabbit ears.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, like it's just like it's one of the funnest powers because you just bounce everywhere, and it's got like the thing where you can kind of wiggle your ears and float slowly. It's just like one of my favorite power-ups of all time. And yeah, just that game in general, both 1 and 2 are just great. So that would be my answer.
If I had to pick an answer for this, I feel like he's laughing at me in here because of my negativity towards Mario. No, when I first had a Game Boy Color, the only game I had on it for a very long time was the re-release of Super Mario Brothers, the original one. And
So like Mario Brothers Deluxe or whatever it was.
yeah,
Or
where you get
DX.
the Yoshi eggs that they didn't do anything, just got extra bonus points and whatever. Like, it did things to me as the person who was learning to play games. Like, it was a good game, and it was like, I give them credit. Like, I appreciated this. This was my Mario game that I started with. I don't care much for him now, mostly just as a person in general. But for games, yeah, that one was my Mario game.
I love the. I don't really care for much now, as a person and all, but
So,
Because Mario's a living, breathing person.
like it feels like, listen, his political stance is a little bit, on Toads. I mean, I could come and go with that.
He only demolished the actual citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom because they were turned into blocks, and all you do in the first Mario game is smush blocks. So that's where it
Right.
begins. There's a good character crunch episode on Mario.
Nice.
Right. What about you, Justin? Where do you fall on this? What is your favorite Mario game?
Yeah, this is tough. I think kind of for like everyone here, I have different reasons for it. I think Super Mario 3 for the NES, I think definitively was like a tipping point for the Mario, series. I think that was huge. The other one that really rings true for me is, and I kind of, as Dave mentioned a couple moments ago, is Galaxy. And the reason being is it was a really great game that my wife likes video games, but she likes very easy entry video games. So like we'll play Mario Party together or Kart. But Galaxy was a game where she would sit down and play with me and like try and capture the stars. So it really became
So
like
she-
so much.
she did the girlfriend mode.
She did the girlfriend mode, and it was just one of those things that she got really excited about. And we would, the little one was in bed. This one we just had one daughter at this point, so little one's in bed, and we'd sit up for about 4 or 5 hours and just play.
That's awesome.
And we played, Galaxy 1, Galaxy 2, and actually we had, I was sort of under the impression that the Super Mario 3D World had that kind of feature in it as well, kind of the girlfriend mode, as you call it, Jesse. So she was really excited for it to play as well, but it didn't quite have the same context. And
The closest
So for me-
thing in that game is her having the making blocks on the pad
yeah,
to
so it
help
didn't
or
quite have-
hinder you.
Yeah, it didn't quite have that same level, but it was just that kind of like it was something that, and I wasn't allowed to play the game without her. It was a very interesting experience. Like I'd be like, I really got to go finish this level. I really, it's really challenging. She's like, no, we do this thing together. And I'm like, really? Because you just kind of sit there and make fun of me when I'm dying, right? But no, she's like, no, we do it together. And so that was kind of our rule around the house. So very different structures for him, but just memory. I think for me, a lot of video gaming is around really fond memories.
That's funny. Right on. Well, right on, guys. Hey, this has been great. We got everybody right? We went around the table. Jesse, you.
I didn't chime in yet.
Okay, what do we got?
Well, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, well, Mario really isn't as nostalgic to me as the Zelda franchise is. But one kind of thing that I do remember sticking out is I got really good at Super Mario Brothers 2. And I got to the point
That
where
game is really, yeah.
I got to the point where I knew where most of the secrets were, and where certain levels, if you couldn't get to its secret if you didn't have the right character. So like you needed Luigi's high jump, or you needed Peach's long jump to do certain things. So I had most of the levels figured out where I can beat the game through hitting every level and never using Mario once. And I would use Luigi, Peach, and Toad exactly. I think like 8 times each is 24 levels. So 8 times each, and Mario is 0. And at the end of the game, it shows you how many levels to beat with each character. So it was 8, 8, and 0.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Right on. Yeah, that's one of those ones that, again, because of the history of that game and how, Nintendo of America was like, Super Mario Brothers 2 from Japan is really crappy and we don't want to sell it, so they repurposed Doki Doki Panic or whatever, or reskinned it. That just ends up being such an interesting sort of artifact of its time now, and it's so. I mean, ended up adding so many great characters from the game as well. Like Birdo comes from there, and what
Shy Guy.
Shy Guy. It's yeah.
Not only the characters, but you actually think in Super Mario 2, that was when we actually started to begin to get definitive features and abilities for those characters. That was where we first saw Luigi's being able to jump higher than Mario.
Yeah.
Right, like that was higher, and Princess
That's
Peach's.
The first real definitive sort of like character difference in general. Like,
Yeah.
Luigi's the taller brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Princess Peach's with the kind of the dress floating. Right.
Well,
like,
I think Lost Levels Luigi did have a higher jump as well, but
did he?
yeah, but who plays? People can't play that game single player. Who's going to try to play it 2-player?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Right on. Well, hey, awesome guys. This has been a blast. I'm going to start up our music here. And it always takes way too long for it to start, like it always does, which is great radio.
So,
There it
so Steve, Dave, obviously, Character Crunch is an incredible show. Where can people find you, find your podcast, subscribe to it? Where can we get more of you guys?
You can find our show at dayspace.com. That's DACESPACE.com. I spell that so fast now that I don't think anybody actually understands it. And you just go to the podcast tab and click Character Crunch, and there's 59 episodes sitting there now. Hopefully 60 by tomorrow.
Right on. And as well, any other things you want to plug before we head out here?
Follow me at Dayspace on Twitter, same as the website, and you can follow Steve at Jokestrap.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate you guys being here. As for us, you can follow us on all of the social medias at Nintendo Dads. That would be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google+. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com. Check us out on twitch.tv/nintendodads. You can call in and leave a voicemail, which no one's doing. There's a skeleton waiting at the operator there. Cobwebs are collecting. People call into the voicemail line 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Huge thanks to ocremix.org for our music both our intro and outro music. And enormous thank you to Carter Johnson for her artwork for us, for our cover art. Check out her at carter.tumblr.com. And, of course, check us out on iTunes. Leave us a review. Check us out on Stitcher. And, of course, VGTribune.com. Any final parting words before we head out tonight, gentlemen? All right, sounds good.
Oh, character. Oh, what's that? What's that, Dave?
Sorry for extending your show an extra hour.
Oh, no, of course. No. And, of course, as well, like we said before, we probably will stick around just for a few minutes and talk about the Apple Keynote for those of you who are interested after the music. But until next time, play some more games, everybody. Peace.
All right, character crunch crew. What's the Mario versus Mario count?
Steve's keeping track. I didn't count the Marios.
Yeah, I wasn't counting the Marios.
There wasn't many.
I know I had a good 8 Marios in there.
Good 8 Marios? That sounds about right. That sounds about right. It's not looking good for the win-loss column.
I was like, we just kind of got invited on your guys' show. I'm not gonna make fun of him on Twitter for Mario, but I noticed it like super heavily in the last episode I listened to.
Yeah, I know. Like, now it's like the thing that everyone notices. Like it's.
I mean, it's like